Yeah.
Ruby Ware, that was Gus Ware brother.
Right. It stayed in the blue house. They stayed next door to each other, didn't
Gus used to live around on.
they? So that was Ruby right here.
Yeah, and Gus was around on 8th Street.
Eighth Street.
Pee Wee Mitchell lived.
Okay, yeah. So
Drive
that
that
greenhouse.
car.
Yeah, in that greenhouse. So
yeah,
was.
that was Gus lived.
Yeah, so was.
Ooh, what was that man live right here drove that? He used to have that school. He used to have that bus that folk get up. Oh my God, he lived right up in here. But he used to haul people around.
Yeah.
Shopping cattle.
Yeah.
And pulling cattle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask my brother, he'll tell me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, those are the memories that get buried in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones coming behind us are no.
Yeah, they won't. They won't.
Yeah.
Sam Jeff and that man used to haul this bus right in here. His name was Mr. Major.
It came back to us.
Mr. Major.
Now, who was Sam? Sam?
Mr. Sam Jeffrey, he was on, and his wife was named Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
We would leave Sunday school and go over there and buy food out of his little store.
Okay.
And also Miss Ona Hatterson
Yeah, Miss Ona.
used to have a little, homemade gross thing in the back of her house.
Yeah.
Selling us candy and stuff.
Candy, ice cream cones.
And Miss Wood lived right there in this house, right there. Tommy Sutton grandma.
Oh, yeah.
We used to buy candy from her.
I can see it. Yes.
And a lady on the next block,
GC.
right here on H,
On H?
behind Benji Rose's house. Her name was Miss Mellor, Clara Mellor, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
We used to buy candy for her. During that time, the candy would come in a box, and they used to sell it to her.
Yeah.
I was asking another community member about the bell they used to ring.
Tom,
St. Stephen's Bell.
Mr. Overcross.
Mm-hmm.
Started that?
When someone would die, the bell would be up there at St. Stephen's Baptist Church hanging. And whenever you hear that bell,
That means somebody
that
died.
means somebody done died in the neighborhood.
And it would ring how many years they
it
was
was.
on the planet.
And Overcross
Yeah.
Okay.
would do it.
Okay.
Yeah. OC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, man. Any other community actions that would happen like that over and over? We know Dixie Day was something that happened annually. The bell will ring. Is there any other things that happen periodically throughout Dixie that was in relation to community and family like that you can think of?
Well, the only thing I could think of is back in the days was when Dad and them were playing ball.
Playing ball.
Uh-huh.
Now, did they ever play at C Street?
We used to have a softball team
For the girl, for the
for
women?
the ladies.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what was do you remember the name?
Oh, I forgot.
Okay.
Because I used to play.
That's what I was going to say. I know
Yes, I did. I used to play.
Yes,
I think
ma'am.
that was Floyd Williams' team, wasn't it?
Florida Tillman had
Floyd
one
Tillman,
too.
Yeah.
Rusty, all of them
Rusty,
played.
Sue Matthews, and all them played, yeah.
All of them played for him.
Yeah.
So
But we had one for the adults, for the ladies.
who was the manager? You remember?
It was, who was over us? It wasn't no Floyd. I know it was Sugar. We called the guy Sugar. Rusty, daddy.
Okay.
And I think Aaron Crawford them would be out there.
Okay.
You know, with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Cecil
Yes,
Melvin.
ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Was there any basketball teams or other type of teams that came out of Dixie?
No, but I know lots of guys went to Northeast Ski School. They played basketball. And
Right.
stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and in
ma'am.
Jones School too.
Yes, ma'am.
Played in the band.
Yes, ma'am.
Played football.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
I missed that school.
I was just about to say, do you remember when Scipio A. Jones closed, and how did it affect Dixie? How did it affect the community members?
Well, it affected us because it put the kids in a strain.
Yes,
And we split it up
Okay.
to go different ways.
Some went to Northeast and
Some
then
went
some.
to
Yeah.
Old Man.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, now I've read an article recently about buses coming through here. Do you remember when the first buses came through Dixie, and were they busing to Scipio? No, because you said you walked to Scipio.
Yeah, we didn't have the back in those.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
We would walk to school
Through this field.
through that field up here the railroad
ma'am.
track.
Yes,
We would
ma'am.
take a chance, go all the way through there.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
ma'am.
All the way you cut through up there by the Sherman Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Go on around.
Yes, ma'am.
Go on around. Over there what? Cedar Street.
Yes, ma'am.
First Baptist Church.
Yes, ma'am. Right there in front of Shorter Card.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Scipio A. Jones High
Yes,
School.
ma'am.
We had fun days.
Uh-huh.
Good days.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Very good days.
Yes, ma'am.
It seemed like it was hard, but we made it.
Yes, ma'am.
It was good.
If you had to ask children to walk today to school that long, I don't know if they'll make it.
They don't want to walk in the yard, but not raining. If my dad and them cars weren't running, they wouldn't have no one to pick you up, baby. You going to school.
Yes, ma'am.
And you better not have Mr. Beaver them call.
Yes.
George Beaver.
Yeah.
Was that the principal at Scipio?
D.
Yeah,
Margie.
Mr. Beaver, Andrew Beaver.
Yeah, Andrew Beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you play the hook, then come. I remember,
He don't come to your house.
boy, he gonna tell it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know everybody mama.
Yeah.
Dad too.
That's what it was about. That's what
Yeah.
it was about.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Good, good. We are here today with, will you tell us your name?
My name is Margie Evans.
Evans. And you are a member of Dixie Addition Community.
Yes.
Yes. How long have you been a member of Dixie?
I've been living in Dixie for 73 years.
That's a long time. That's a long time. What is your family name in history as it relates to Dixie?
My family name was the late Cora Stovall, Robert Stovall.
Okay. And what street did they mainly live on?
We lived it on 1012 G Street in Dixie
Have you always lived there?
all my life.
All your life.
But right now, I live at 823 G Street, the
Okay.
same street that I was born on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now you have a lot of harvest around your house. I know back in the day I would pull some plums and some other types of fruits. Can you tell us some other things that have been in Dixie as it relates to
Well, far as I know, right across the street is Mr. Johnson. He still do have the pear tree.
the pear trees? Pear trees.
He has a pear tree, and at 800 F Street, Fred Murphy, they had an apple tree.
Apple tree. So it was plenty to get and eat.
In Dixie.
Yes, ma'am.
And
What is
plums.
and plums?
Mm-hmm.
What is your greatest memory of Dixie?
My greatest memory of Dixie is when we had to go to school, walk to Carter G. Wilson,
Ma'am.
cut through the pass, and go across there.
Yes, ma'am.
Where all the weeds at night.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we went there from the 1st grade to the 6th grade.
Okay.
And then from the 7th to the 12th, we walked the backtrack going to Scipio A. Jones High School,
Yes, ma'am.
where we graduated.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, what kind of community was Dixie when you were growing up?
It was a family community. We
Okay.
all worked together and we respected one another.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Where was it a lot of organizations working together, businesses working together?
We had out
Kids.
here in Dixie back in the days, we had Mr. T.R. Perry. He had a little grocery store. Miss Maxine Laura and them had a grocery store on I Street.
Okay.
And then on H, we had this daycare center
Okay. Yes,
at
ma'am.
914 H Street.
Okay. Okay.
Was a daycare center
Yes,
here for
ma'am.
many years.
Yes, ma'am.
And the building is still standing Because right now we in the business.
Yes, ma'am, we are. Yes, ma'am.
And I feed the kids
Yes, you
out
do.
of this business.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, how long have you been working with the feeding program?
I've been working with the feeding program right now for about 2 years.
Okay.
And Brother Ernest Franklin is the president.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And I work with the kids, feeding this. But I enjoy working with kids
Yes, ma'am.
and feeding them.
Yes, ma'am.
Not only at the CDC.
Okay.
I will give anybody food.
Yes, ma'am.
Out of my house
Yes,
or
ma'am.
whatever, if I got it.
Greens and all. I've had some.
That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Now, there is a garden across the way, too. How long
Uh-huh.
has that garden been up?
He had one last year.
Okay. Yes,
The
ma'am.
community garden.
Can you tell us what are the harvests? What are the fruits and vegetables or food that was geared from the?
Well, I know that he had greens out there,
Yes,
mustard and turnip greens.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think he had a little okra, not
Okay.
much,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
he had plenty mustard and collard green.
Yes, ma'am. I remember
With
getting
turnips.
and cabbage
Uh-huh.
and broccoli.
Yeah.
Right there, he had the mounds. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, he did.
Yes, ma'am. What kind of now we asked what kind of community would you say Dixie is? Why would you say Dixie was such a family type of community?
Because the parents communicated with one another, and we all had respect. We had respect for all the adults.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
The
ma'am.
kids, we played together. We were just one big happy family in Dixie.
Yes, ma'am. So now we know Dixie have changed over the years. Good things, bad things.
Uh-huh.
All cities have their dark ages.
Uh-huh.
What would you say Dixie looked like then versus now?
Well, back in the days, it was full. We didn't have a vacant lot out here.
Yes, ma'am.
They like the house was stacked together, but they was all full.
Yes, ma'am.
And I forgot to say this about my dad had a basketball team out here.
Okay.
It was the Dixie All-Star.
Okay. Basketball or baseball?
Baseball.
Okay. Okay.
He had a basketball.
A baseball. Okay.
He would load up and at T.I.R. Parish store on E Street.
Okay. Yes.
And they would
ma'am.
all get together and share cars.
Okay.
And would go to England, Arkansas
To play.
to play baseball.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So you gonna share? Was it male or female?
It was men's.
Men's. Are you going to share some of those? Do you still have any of the hats or maybe the T-shirts from the baseball?
No, I don't,
Okay.
because I lost some. It's gone.
Yes, ma'am. That's okay. But there was the Dixie All Stars,
Dixie All-Star.
and it was all men.
And Robert Stovall was. The men.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But I know lots of the guys. Some of them still living.
Okay. Can you name any of them?
His name is Leander Jackson,
Okay.
but we call him Skeet.
Skeet. Yes,
He's
ma'am.
a preacher now down here at Glenview
Yes, ma'am.
Church of Christ.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm gonna ask Jabo,
Okay.
cause his daddy played.
Yes, ma'am. He did.
Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And Jabo
Theo.
did too.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I could tell you all of them.
Okay. Adolph. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So, would you like to see a new Dixie? And if so, what would that look like to you?
I would like to see Dixie build back up
Yes, ma'am.
and fix up our neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Fix the streets that we need. Give us the sidewalks.
Yes, ma'am.
We need it bad out here.
Yes, ma'am.
And page the parking lot
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
CDC. Everything needs fixing up
Yes, ma'am.
out here.
Okay.
And if we could get any help doing this,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
need it
Yes, ma'am.
bad.
Yes,
And we
ma'am.
appreciate whatever They do.
Yes, ma'am.
To make Dixie a big happy family. But you know what?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm still happy.
You look like it.
I'm
Yes,
still
ma'am.
out here in Dixie.
Doing work.
When they see me right now going to school, my classmates say, Margie, where you living at? I said, still in Dixie. I tell them I'm not going nowhere till they roll me out of Dixie.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's the Lord's will.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So, one last question.
Okay.
Can you name 5 excellent individuals from Dixie, past or present, that have been influential in your life, that have made a difference? We already know Robert Stovall, your father, starting the baseball team. Can you name any other individuals that you would consider to be excellent?
Well, I could give you the ones on G Street.
Okay.
And I can even tell you about Miss Susan Burke.
Okay.
My sister's a thing. We all grew up together.
Okay.
And we used to be in and out of her house.
Yes, ma'am.
And she let us know when time we supposed to go home. And we would go. And that was from I Street.
Okay.
And around there, up here on A Street, we had Mr. Blue. We called him Blue. His name was Lorenzo Williams.
Okay.
My dad and him used to go hunting all the time.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And on G Street, we had Mr. Tom Williams.
Okay.
And Hawk, a guy named Hawk Morton. We call him that.
Yes, ma'am.
He used to cut hair.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I've
And-
heard some stories.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And down there on the end of G was Mr. George Coleman.
Okay.
He did would fix cabinets and stuff like
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Yes,
and Mr.
ma'am.
Curtis Mitchell on G Street,
Yes, ma'am.
he would do the plumbing.
Yes,
And it
ma'am.
was not all about money.
Yes, ma'am.
Just reaching out trying to help someone.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what I would like to see the community back like that again.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Now we're ending to the conclusion of the or getting to the conclusion of the interview. Is there anything else that you want to share about Dixie and its just great history that we haven't covered?
I work with the Dixie community. The original people that started out Dixie community, Dixie Day,
Yes, ma'am.
was Maggie Rose Nicholson, Pearlie Rones, Ray Williams, Modine Owens, Helen Earl, Doris Osby. All of us would get out there, start with the food.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
first one they ever had,
Yes, ma'am.
Jean and Vertis. But Maggie Rose Nicholson
Yes, ma'am.
was the first one to do anything out here in this neighborhood,
Yes, ma'am.
you know, involving all the children
Yes, ma'am.
and everything. She
Yes,
started off in her garage as a Halloween,
Yes, ma'am.
and she got permission from the city
Yes,
to
ma'am.
block a block out from the church to the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, we had a good time.
I've heard.
I mean, we had some fun.
Yes, ma'am. Bobbing for apples and everything.
It was, everything.
Yes, ma'am. I've
That's
heard.
right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Now, what other organizations or just community
I
work?
work with the me and Grace Williams started working out here in this neighborhood,
okay.
The community,
Okay.
with the children.
Yes, ma'am.
And I asked, can we start up a little angel tree
Okay.
for the kids?
Yes, ma'am.
And they said, yeah.
Okay.
And I've been working with the Dixie Angel Tree
Yes, ma'am.
for 18 years.
That's awesome.
This is the only Dixie tree,
Yes, ma'am.
and we've been doing it for 18 years.
Congratulations. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And we
ma'am.
enjoy
Yes, ma'am.
with the parents and the sponsor for helping the kids, help putting a smile on the parents' face and the children.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would like to see that continue
Yes,
to
ma'am.
carry on in the name of Dixie Angel Tree.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it, Miss Margie Evans, Margie Stovall Evans, Dixie Community member. Thank you.
Oh, and I forgot
Yes,
We
ma'am.
had a little grocery store on I Street.
You did,
A
Lord.
love brand.
Yes, ma'am.
And I did tell you about Miss Maxine.
You did.
Okay, then.
Yes, ma'am. Now I kind of remember one on D Street as well. Rob.
It was Robert, he had one.
Okay.
But before then, we had a guy named Sam Jeffrey
Okay.
in that same building.
Oh,
That was
really?
before Rob got in there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. And then Tip, when was Tip? When did he come around?
Tip, he came up and he used to fix the kids' bicycles.
Okay.
And he used to sell them a little big cannons and stuff
Okay.
out of his house.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's what we used to do.
Anything else that you think about or want to share about Dixie before we
And we
conclude?
had on F Street, right down there on that corner, around 1023 or something, that white church. That used to be a little grocery store. The man's name was Mr. George.
Okay.
And he used to sell us food out of there.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. But it was all about family and
It
community.
was all about family.
Yes, ma'am.
Working together.
Yes, ma'am.
And whether we had some money or not, they would give us some food. And they would let my dad and them have stuff on credit.
Yes, ma'am.
And they could pay it, whenever they could get their little check.
I remember. Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your history with us, Miss Evans, and we will conclude the interview. Greetings.
Greetings, peace and blessings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, will you please first tell us who you are?
I am Alvertis M, Murry. I'm the son of Betty Jean Burton, and I am the grandson of Frank Burton Sr. and Willie B. Burton.
Would you say that is your complete family name and history as it relates to Dixie, or would you add more?
My grandfather was the Burton, but my grandmother, her maiden name was Johnson, and she come from the Johnson family out of, I think it was Altown, Wabasiki.
But they call her Susie.
Yeah, Miss Susie, and that was her nickname, Miss Susie Burton. And she was from Wabasiki, my grandfather was from Altown. And they moved in to Dixie around the 1940s. I don't know the exact date, but I do know that the house 914 I Street has been in my grandmother's name since the 40s. So.
Now, your house is a special house. It will be considered historic, correct?
It's
Can you tell us how you would say that? Why would you say that?
The reason why most homes, like my grandmother's home, is historic is because of the history and the story behind the houses. Like, I'm doing a restoration and renovation on the house now, and we was taking some of the siding off the kitchen, and behind the siding was cardboard, and we was pulling the cardboard off, and a piece of the cardboard had a sticker on it from 1945, and they was using the cardboard for insulation because when we removed the cardboard,
Interesting.
you saw wood that was different shades and different sizes and different textures, but all of this was used wood. You saw old nail holes in it, and you had gaps in it, like big gaps. That's why they put the cardboard up there to really, keep the wind from blowing through.
Interesting.
Because the houses, it was not back then, they knew how to flush the wood together. So they just,
Interesting.
and on top of each other.
Yes,
but
sir.
it was spaces between the wood. So when we stripped that wall, that whole kitchen, we were stripping it all the way down to the very shell of the house. And all of it, from the story that I heard, was all used wood. Because my grandfather used to move houses from the country up here. And I think they was paying like $25 to move a house. And he would move the houses up here, and all the houses that they was tearing down or whatever scrap wood he could find. He came up here, and I think him and some of his friends, Mr. Buddy and somebody else, they built the frame of the house. So it was just a frame. And he would get the wood and come up here, and he would, by himself or with some of his friends, they would put the wood to the house. But they had only had the outside of the house done. Everything else on the inside was just a frame.
Wow.
They just wanted to complete the outside first. So when they moved up here, it was just the outside done and just a frame on the inside. And they built that house as they lived in it. 10 kids later, you got a full house.
Yes, sir.
So that's the same house that they hands built all the way up until now. So that house today is 80 something years old, almost 86.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. So what would be your fondest memory, your greatest memory of Dixie?
Community togetherness and unity. I mean, growing up in Dixie as a child, I don't know about, my aunties and my uncles and my grandmother's life growing up. I can just go back as far as what I can remember. My mama's an adult, I'm a child, but I'm seeing my neighborhood.
Yes.
And me growing up, it was all about family. Every house contained a family.
Yes, sir.
And they was not small families, they were large families. So they had kids and their kids had kids, and all of us grew up knowing each other.
Yes.
And when we went outside, what these kids don't understand today, we didn't have the radios, the iPads, the iPhones.
Distractions.
We had none of that.
Yes, sir.
The only thing that we heard was 2 words. Go outside. Go outside. Go outside. And if everybody in Dixie was saying to their kids, go outside, where all the kids was at? Outside. So outside meant you had to find something to do. And in Dixie, the kids found something to do together.
Yes, sir.
We didn't find nothing to do on our own. So you was, any given moment, you'll see 12 to 15 to 20 kids together. Dixie never slept. It was always alive. It was always, because every house contained a family. And when I say community togetherness and unity, I mean this. Me coming from a burden, the elderly people in the neighborhood, they didn't have to know my name. But what they did know was who I belonged to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you grow up in Dixie, the old people would always say, that's one of them. That's one of them. Because they knew you by how you looked and who your family was.
Yes.
So that's why I say community. When I say community, I mean common unity. The common unity that I remember is that as a community, you never had to leave out of Dixie. And that's one thing we understood about the people who are living in Dixie. Everybody looked out for each other. So I'm looking at my grandfather and the legacy that he showed. The example that he showed was that he started a garden. And I asked him one day, I said, why you making this garden so big? Because he was having me out there helping him. I'm like, why you making this garden so big? He said, I just want to see it grow. So everybody can come and get it. And out of that garden, he kept the community fed. He kept the community connected because they had to stop at Mr. Frank's garden to do what? You got to come and pick it yourself. You're going to talk to him. And guess what? That's the community. So he didn't have to leave his house. He just planted something in the ground.
To make them come in. I can dig it. As a child, what are some of the things that you did? I know crawdad fishing, but what are some other activities outdoors that you would say as a child that you had fun?
I mean, on a lot of these houses that had the lots that wasn't no rocks and nothing like that in, you found us playing football on the side of somebody's house. And our youth found us playing touch football in the street, football on the church ground. We had 2 parks, H Street Park and C Street Park. And like a lot of people don't remember H Street Park because when they made C Street Park, they kind of stopped H Street Park. But H Street Park was where everybody usually was. And that was our football field too. So if it wasn't wet, we was at H Street Park playing football. But it was always something to do in Dixie. Like, I mean, we would get together and walk to Glenview to go swimming. We would walk to the boys club to go swimming. Or we'll go walk to the boys club just to walk to the boys club. And back then, everywhere we went, we did walk. And if we didn't have a bicycle, but back then you would see maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 kids on bicycles. So that was Dixie. That's why I say it was community and it was unity, because everything we did together. We did together. We played together, we ate together, we slept together, we spent the night over each other's house. It wasn't nothing for kids that grow up in Dixie that didn't know each other. Yeah. It wasn't that we didn't do stuff together. We did a lot of stuff together. Right. And like a lot of people don't know this church around here on Walnut Grove. There was a woman, her name was Miss T.H.I.N.K. And she had a sister named Miss Annie, but Miss T.H.I.N.K, Ricky Pettis, and somebody else started a community group called Dixie Youth on the Move. Dixie Youth on the Move was them trying to get us more involved in understanding what, the ins and outs and basics of community. Yes, okay. But it never went too far. And I think Brenda, one of Dollars was a part of that at Giles, the time. Brenda Giles. Yeah. And I think from that kind of led to creating the foundation for, us to step up and step in. And, yes, sir. Because it planted the idea. Yes. It didn't materialize and manifest then, but it was something that was started. Yes. And that was out of Walnut Grove. But, I mean, as far as things to do, it was always a tree to pick some fruit off of. Mm-hmm. And we did that together. Yes. It was always, I could go to Elf Street and I can remember knocking on Miss Savannah door. Yeah, and knocking on Miss Savannah door, at the time, it was like every kid was probably on that block. But my grandmother and Miss Savannah used to go fishing all the time. Mm-hmm. And if I went around there, my grandma would make me go knock on her door. Mm-hmm. So she didn't know I was around. So if anything happened, Miss Savannah would call my grandma. So I know that type of unity was, this what was told us as kids. You can't go nowhere in Dixie and do nothing and think you're going to get away with it, because guess what? If they know who you belong to and they see you, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell it. So I'm gonna find out. And if I find out you're out there doing something, somebody had to call my phone and tell you, when you come back through that door, you know what I got for you. So it was order and structure. I mean, the biggest thing I can say is I love growing up in Dixie because I knew the community meant family. And if you know anything about a family outside of your immediate family, it ain't no greater bond than when somebody have a love for you like this neighborhood had for the kids that was born out here. And one thing about being born in Dixie babies got treated the best.
So you've shared with us what kind of community Dixie was. Why would you say that Dixie was such a family-oriented togetherness type of community?
It's because everybody knew the environment we was in. And it's like when you got, let's take I Street for instance, just the 800 block. You got the Browns, you got the Blands, you had the Martins, you had the Gillums, you had the Dobbins, you had the Matthews, and just out of those names that I mentioned, that was probably maybe 50 kids. And just think on one block, that many kids on one block, on one street. And then it's the same thing on the next block, and the next block, and the next block. So you got 50 on one block, 50 on the other block, or 40, or 30. But just think that's nearly 100 kids on one block.
Right. Right.
And just think if it was 7 streets like that and all those streets reflected the same thing,
Yes.
then that shows you the fullness of how many people were actually just right here.
Right.
And what made Dixie so iconic to the environment of the city of North Little Rock, and surrounding areas is that Dixie was a neighborhood that the character of the people, wherever they went, they made it known that they was from where? Dixie. So if you met those people, and they were from all walks of life, that put Dixie, on a whole nother category in people's minds. And that drew people to coming to Dixie, to, mingle with their friends. And by the time they came out here, they mingled with some more people and knew some more people, met some more people. So those people became friends of Dixie. And when they became friends of Dixie, they might as well say they was adopted by Dixie because they was out here in Dixie more than they was where they were from.
Right.
So, because everything was going on in Dixie, like, if we needed a house built or you need something done to your house, you didn't have to leave the Dixie, you just call around the corner. If you needed some plumbing, you didn't have to leave Dixie, you just call around the corner. You needed to go to the store, you just walk around the corner. If you needed something done to your car, you just walk around the corner, call around the corner. That's what made the example, to me, the biggest example was we were self-sufficient.
Yes.
We were self-sufficient. And whatever we needed, we created. And if we couldn't create it, then we made it. But we found a way to do it. And I'll say another thing about Dixie in relation to that was 2 things. We resilient, and we don't stop until we see it happen. And I know that.
For sure. Yes.
Because we was taught that as kids. See, it wasn't no running back in the house crying, talking about this, that, and that. It was stern, but it was get out of my face and go back outside. I don't want to hear that. Go on back out there. Whatever goes on out there,
figure it out.
Deal with it, figure it out, but don't run back up in here with it.
Yes, sir.
If you go outside, whatever you get into outside, you get into outside, but that's the way you got to learn. So it was hands off, but it was letting us have the freedom to formulate our own identity.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Within the neighborhood.
Yes, yes. So, would you like to see a new Dixie? We know Dixie have changed over the years, good and bad. Would you like to see a new Dixie, and why? And what would that look like to you as well?
I'm going to get political first.
Yes.
Because it has a lot to do with that.
Okay.
The reason why I want to see a new Dixie is because of 3 words: historical black community. And I feel like that the city of North Little Rock, the procedures and practices that they use for other communities that they have recognized as historical areas, they do not apply to us or communities like us. But why give us the recognition on one hand and deny us the benefits of that on the other hand?
Yes, sir.
And when I say a new Dixie, I'm looking at a new Dixie following the tradition of Dixie. Because it wasn't outside that made Dixie. It was the people. And I think the new Dixie is going to be a recreation of the people. The whole idea and concept of this is ours, our responsibility, our priority, our obligation to take care of what our ancestors took care of. Because we inherited that. That came from their blood, they sweat, they tears, they thinking, they ideas, they hard work and effort. So they could create something that we can come on and say, we got a comfortability
Right.
that they didn't have.
Right.
We got a luxury that everything was provided by the time these grandkids came.
Right. Right.
Because they weren't looking at right then. They was looking at, okay, 10 kids later, I'm finna have some grandbabies. I'm gonna need a house, I'm gonna need this, I'm gonna need that. And these grandbabies gonna have to come through the same door.
Mm.
And so we're gonna have to have something for them. So we the grandkids and the kids coming behind us, what have we did with what was passed on? What have we did with the legacy that was created and left to us?
Mm.
And what we gonna do now? Because if we don't do nothing, then Dixie won't last for another 100 years.
Interesting.
And when I say a new Dixie, I mean a new Dixie for another 100 years.
Yes. Yes.
Because that was the concept. They built it to last. They didn't build it to be 100 years and somebody else get it.
Right.
They didn't build it for it to be 100 years and you got 217 something empty lots out here and a serious housing decline and neighborhood decline. That says that society and politics get inside of neighborhoods and plans and they implement their own thing because the neighborhood is really everybody to move away. So it ain't my place, it ain't my business, it ain't this, it ain't that. But the concerns should be on the people who live and reside in the neighborhood. So I think a new Dixie is going to first start with a new mind, a new way of thinking. That's why I came up with the idea of Think Dixie. It's basically to get us to think about Dixie. And the concept of Think Dixie is this here is neighborhood knowledge, which this is what we're talking about. This is what we're going to be doing in the documentary. This is what we're going to be highlighting and exposing. Neighborhood knowledge. And this here is neighborhood knowledge, but Dixie is demonstrated inside excellent individual examples. And we're going to try to highlight the demonstration of those individuals and their excellent individual examples. And what was all inside of that as a blueprint for us to pass along. Because if you don't allow a person focus to generate on something, they probably won't see it. But with this documentary, we're going to highlight the demonstration that was inside of each one of these excellent individual examples and how they added to the livelihood and the environment of a community. Because Dixie was made by excellent individual examples being demonstrated through neighborhood knowledge. It was thinkers. Everything that you're going to hear in the documentary is going to be talking about black people who were actually thinkers. With what they had in circumstances and situations they were up under, they knew the only way to figure that out was to do what? And they didn't think individual, they thought as a what?
As a collective.
Body, a group, a community.
Yes, sir.
So whatever the idea was that was came up with by a member of the community, the whole community acknowledged that. And see, getting back to that right there, throughout the years, so many things can come along to water that down. And we want to put some water back on the flower so we can plant another tree. And this time this tree stands another 100 years. But it's a tree that we made off of the roots of the tree that was already planted.
Well said. So you have spoke of the excellence and the resilience of Dixie, community members, community as a whole. Can you name 5 excellent individuals, past or present, from Dixie?
I'm going to go past, I'm going to go elders all the way down. The biggest example to me out of the whole neighborhood and I would say, was my next door neighbor, Sam Evans. And the reason why I say Mr. Evans was an excellent individual example because his demonstration was, he led by example. Mm-hmm. He might didn't speak a lot, but his example was, you can live in Dixie and you still can have a life outside of Dixie. Mm. But let your life that you live reflect.
Where you, yes. Yes, sir. Where you can. Yes.
So we had a duplex on 8th Street, and it was owned by the next individual example that I'm going to talk about is Miss T.H.I.N.K and Miss Annie. Miss T.H.I.N.K was a what we call a realtor today. But she was a landlord, female, in a neighborhood where there were a lot of people who owned houses. But she was one of the few women that owned multiple houses. Yeah. She had a duplex right next door to her house. And it was Miss T.H.I.N.K and Mr. Evans. They both stayed on the side of the duplex. Mr. Evans stayed over this side, Miss T.H.I.N.K stayed on this side. And we were trying to put up a basketball goal. And we had probably a bicycle rim, a piece of plywood, and a little small pole. Well, Mr. Evans had a piece of a telephone pole, probably about 7 or 8 feet in his yard. And he said, y'all get that pole and dig a hole. I'll put some concrete in there and I'll set that pole up for y'all. And Miss T.H.I.N.K had some plexiglass. And my mama went and bought us a rim. Mr. Evans screwed the rim into the plexiglass and cut it like it was a backboard. So our yard on 8th Street was what everybody came because we had the only basketball goal that looked like that in our yard. And we had rocks on the side of the house. So we didn't have to get out of school and go play. Everybody came to our house. And that's where we played basketball at. If we couldn't go down the street to 8th Street because the grown-ups was playing down there. So everybody came on 8th Street to our house and we played on the side of the house. But that was right on the side of Mr. Evans' house. But he never minded us playing right there because if he did, he would never gave us that pole to put the goal right there. Because he knew everybody was going to be over there.
And trim the plexiglass.
Yeah, and made sure we had the goal. And he kept, when the nest was, get messed up, he'll come over there and just knock on the door and hunt. And it'd be a pair of nets. So he didn't talk a lot, but just for him to do stuff like that for your neighbor. And then going back in the house. But I could go in his house, but he never stepped one foot in mine. But he just wanted the kids to have something for themselves. So I think Mr. Evans, Miss T.H.I.N.K, all the store owners that was out here were excellent individual examples. I think the individuals who the individuals who wanted to really leave an impact on the part of Dixie being something that the outside people will recognize, just like C Street Park. Everybody know what C Street Park is, but everybody don't know the story behind C Street Park, and the name of it was Conley Park, where they just shortened it to C Street Park. But Conley Park was Conley's because Conley's did the maintenance, took care of the park for a number of years. But they were influential individuals in a lot of other things. Like, I think my 3rd grade teacher, her original name was Conley. And
Ada.
At the time she was my teacher, her name was
Ada Conley.
It was Miss Walker, and I can't think of her name, but she's still alive, she's still living, but that was my 3rd grade teacher. But her family her family still stay there, and she still come out here. And
Miss Ada Conley. That's her name.
And she would see her students grow up.
Right.
So I think one day she was a teacher at Redwood Elementary,
Oh, right.
right outside of Dixie. And
Right.
I think her and Miss Walker was best friends, and her class was across from Miss Walker. And we were in the library. And, you know, when they took us to the library in elementary school, they just let you roam the library. And I just happened to be over in a book section where I wasn't supposed to be. And they walked over there, and her and Miss Walker said, "Do you know what you got in your hand?" And I was like, "A book." And they was like, "No, can you read that book? Read us something out that book." And I opened the book up and started reading it. And when I got through reading it, they looked at each other, then they looked at me, but they didn't say nothing. But the next day, my mom was like, "What you do at school the other day?" You know what you talking about? She was like, "Did you go to the library the other day?" I'm like, "Yeah, I went to the library." She said, "Did you read a book?" I said, "Yeah, I read a book." She was like, "Well, your class is finna change." I'm like, "What do you mean my class is finna change?" "Well, they're gonna put you in a class for individuals a little bit more advanced and smarter, because you weren't supposed to be reading that type of book, like you was reading that type of book."
Right.
And like growing up, like where we at right now, this was a daycare. All the babies of Dixie was right here. I was one of those babies. So I saw this daycare go long enough for me to be walking back in the door, picking up one of my nephews that was a baby at the, at the Dixie daycare. But the same cots and mats and that I step on, I'm still seeing my nephew, picking my nephew up, sleep, toting him on my shoulder, like my mama used to tote me down the street while I'm asleep. Right. So that's the longevity of something that was created. And just like this building here, it done saw so many kids come through, and now here we are. I'm 51, so that's probably 49, 50 some years later. I'm sitting here now doing what? But I was sleeping on these cots in this same room.
Same building.
Right. So that's an example. It's just not people. It's the things too.
The buildings, yeah.
That is part of the examples. Like you can go on every street. You can talk about the stores. You can talk about the businesses that people had out here. You can talk about the mechanic shops. You can talk about the individuals that you go to for this need, for that need, for that need. But we always were supplying each other with whatever was needed. So I say the biggest example was that Dixie was a self-sufficient example of community, working together, living together, staying together, and doing everything in the name of Dixie. So it wasn't that the people who lived in Dixie was taking care of the individuals. They was taking care of the individuals in their neighborhood. And that was the mentality of Dixie back then. If you was from Dixie and you lived in Dixie and we knew each other, guess what we did? We looked out for each other.
Right.
And that, to me, is the big example of them all, because you don't got that like they used to be.
Right. Right.
Just don't.
Yes. Is there anything else that you we've concluded in some form, is there anything else that you would like to share in relation to Dixie and its illustrious history?
I think the biggest thing that I want to convey right now is that there is a serious need, and I'm talking about everybody that's connected to Dixie. And I want to say these words to convey it, because I think when people think about it in this form, it will really bring that spirit back alive. Dixie roots, Dixie ties. A tree grows two ways. First way it grows down, and it never stops growing down.
No. Yes.
And it spreads out.
Yes.
That was Dixie as a tree. It went down into the roots of the neighborhood, and it spread out. But what it produced was what came up out the ground. And what came out the ground was a tree that dropped fruit everywhere. And now that fruit got to be gathered and brought back
Right.
to the tree
Right.
to fill the tree back with what it was producing.
Yes.
And the biggest thing about us coming back is that we everywhere now. We connected to so many things in the world now that we have those gifts that all of us have Dixie roots, now Dixie ties. When I say Dixie ties, every individual from Dixie is tied to a number of other individuals that are tied to that person or that family or those group of people. Those are Dixie ties. And if we bring all of our ties back together to put something back into the neighborhood, there go the new Dixie. See?
Yes.
Because now what we're doing is putting back into the tree to give it what?
Life.
And once that tree is given life, that tree stood for 100 years. Now let's plant another tree to stand for another 100 years.
Right.
And I talk about that because the uniqueness of the story is that, okay, let me tell you the story of this tree. They cut it down. It was the tallest, greenest tree on the block. When we lived here, it was one right there, one right there, one right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 7 trees planted in the yard. It was the only one that lasted, and it grew. I planted this tree in the yard before I got locked up in 1991. The whole time I was in prison, this tree was growing. When I got out, this tree was the tallest tree on the block. So who you think the tallest one on the block is? Little known fact.
Alvertis Murry, you
Little
are.
known fact. So there wasn't no way to put no driveway or nothing because the tree was right there. So they had to cut the tree down because you couldn't even really see the house. The tree was so tall. But I say that to say this. Sometimes God leaves signs for us and we don't even see them. And I think the biggest sign right now that God leaving for us is that what we have the opportunity to do right now is the greatest thing that we have in our possession to exemplify what is meant by demonstrating inside excellent individual examples. It's going to take all of us right now because politically we know that the city of North Little Rock has on record a development plan for Dixie, but it's not a development plan for us. It is a development plan for their future, their economic stability. It's not for us to benefit from. It's not for us to make a living out of. And right now, my main objective with the whole Think Dixie documentary is to introduce a community-based social reform initiative. And that may go over a lot of people's heads, but right now, that is our only hope for a new Dixie, is to use the knowledge of the policies and procedures and the laws of the state of Arkansas when it comes to communities that are recognized as historical black communities or historical areas all together. There's a lot of knowledge that the community don't know because we were never really educated on that knowledge, but we've been taken advantage of because like the Bible says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge, and people will take advantage of you for what you don't know. And I think a lot of it is the reason why the community is what it is now is because a lot of the knowledge that was there, that made it a neighborhood, buried in the ground. And it really wasn't passed on, and if it was passed on, we really didn't take it to heart and take it too serious. But now, if you look at the community, it's time to take that knowledge to a whole nother level, because if not, we will not see Dixie last probably another 20 years, the way it's going. So I'm saying, think Dixie, the restoration, renovation, and revitalization project. That is the new Dixie.